You are now watching Zach Lesage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's poppin' peeps? Welcome back to the channel. Zach Lesage here, word up. Today we're going to be covering over the top 8 decks from the Late Night Series number 2 event. We had Isaac Trone take it all with Ice Rider, but we're going to be featuring the other 7 deck lists and Isaac's winning deck list in this video today. All the lists are going to be available in the description, so I'll put the link there so you can see exactly what's going on in the standings. Play along with those decks as you like. While you're there, check out some of my sponsors. Maybe pick up a Zach Lesage t-shirt. That'd be super awesome. Also, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. We just passed 5,200 subs. Let's get to 7,500. That's really the next stretch goal for this channel. So every single sub counts. And let me know in the comments below which of these 8 decks is your favorite. All of those really do help boost the YouTube algorithm and really help me out as a small YouTuber. That being said, let's jump into some lists. So for the Late Night Series number 2 event, we had 245 players, just shy about 10 players of hitting our cap of 256 players, but 8 players stood above the rest, and we're going to start off by looking at Mark261's list. They're all the way from Brazil. Shout out to the international players and everyone who plays in my events. Just pulling up the list here, you can see that it's a pretty standard build of what I'd say is Dark Toolbox. You got the Sneasel lineup. I mean, I like the split between the Sneasel. I mean, if I was building a deck in real life, I'd probably look at the Sneasel a little bit more when it comes down to it. Personally, I like the cut down Sneasel more right now, just because it can discard an energy. I don't know if agility is going to matter too much. And I've also seen some players play the Dark Sneasel just to grab something else that's different, maybe have a different type weakness. Triple Dedenne is fine. I don't know if you're going to ever get the bench room. I'd like to see a Crobat, especially since Crobat could attack in this deck. You could use Weavile's Shadow Connection and move the energies to the Crobats. I've seen some lists without Silvally. I personally like the Silvally list. And in terms of everything else, I think this list seems pretty like meta standard. Nothing wrong with that at all. I've totally seen a lot of success with some pretty standard lists. But this is really just a good place to start off for a lot of players. So great job to Mark261. Really like the list. Maybe try to fit a Crobat in there, but obviously you saw success. And I mean, maybe I wouldn't have seen the same level of success. Moving on, we have, and if I pronounce any name wrong, I'm terribly sorry. We have Audidio Premudia playing Shadow Rider Calyrex. So I think most of the Shadow Rider Calyrex fell down a little bit because they were playing a deck that's weak to Dark, and Dark decks seem to do very well at my event. So if you do plan on playing a future Late Night Series, Dark decks typically do very well. Keep that in mind. Shadow Rider Calyrex is no stranger to the top tables, and that's no different here. We see a Shadow Rider Alcremie Zapdos with Solgaleo Lunala GX. It's a little bit tech heavy, especially with the Solgaleo Lunala, the Galarian Zapdos V, and the Alcremie. I like really picking Alcremie or Zapdos. I'm not a huge fan of the Solgaleo Lunala, but that could change. Otherwise, it looks like a pretty standard list. You're just going to be using the Underworld Door, powering up Max Geist, using your tech attackers whenever you want. Now, I'm unsure if they were able to go through. I want to look at their matches. Were they able to beat Eternatus? So they beat one Eternatus, lost to another Eternatus. I find Alcremie goes about 50-50 with the deck anyways. And out of 2 games, I would have rather seen the deck not play the Zapdos. It's my personal opinion, but we'll see how it goes. Congratulations on making top 8s. We got Rory Sharp out here playing Eternatus. So shout out to Rory. Let's see where the Eternatus list is at. 4-3. I really like lists that play 4 Eternatus VMAX because if you prize 1 or if you prize 2, you can just be out of games. I'm also not a huge fan of cards like the Darkrai or the Leopard. I like much more straight up lists when it comes to this particular archetype. But you want to know what? It all fits in the deck and it doesn't look like it's taking away from much. Lots of Pokemon. Thing that I always struggle with is having enough supporters when it comes to this deck. This deck typically loses by dead drawing or by hitting Rapid Strike Urshifu. Those are the 2 biggest losses for this deck. So just really trying to add more supporter cards instead of those tech spaces might allow this deck to play a little bit better. But right now I think that this is a solid list. So shout out to Rory for making top 8. And then we got Angel22 Aranabar playing Shadow Rider. Saw the Shadow Rider deck get absolutely demolished in the top 4 on stream. against a dark type deck. This list is what I'm talking about. It's a little bit more consistent. I actually like playing one Cresselia when Ganku. It's something that I always consider. In terms of other things though, to me this looks pretty much like a perfect list. The stamp could be changed for something else maybe. I honestly don't know. I think maybe another switching card, another switch could be cool, but this list looks very good. I don't have any problems with it. Angel 22 always does very well at the chill events, all kind of events. So they're a top cut kind of rider. They're always at the top cut. They know what they're doing. They refine their list. I like this deck. It just looks solid. If you're looking for a Shadow Rider list, this is basically where most Shadow Rider lists are going to be looking like. Moving on to the top 4, we got Kaiser Scorch, who stayed up all night. Being from Great Britain, the tournament ended at like 3 o'clock in the morning my time. So I think off the top of my head, that's like 9 o'clock in the morning. So absolutely wild man's playing the Rillaboom Eggrow Delmise deck. Now this deck has popped up a little bit, and since talking to Kaiser Scorch, it is one of those things where he said that he's cutting the Cramorant for an Oranguru. In his streamed game in the top, I believe it was top 4, Thwacky, both Thwackies were in his hands. I can see why the Oranguru is an immediate kind of addition to the deck. I mean, this is really one of those underrated decks that I don't think gets enough justice. I've played around with it a few times, and the deck is surprisingly very good. So if you're looking for a unique deck to try, or if you're a fan of the grass types, this is a super cool deck. I think his list seems very strong, and that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, it's just like a well-constructed, cool list. If you're looking for something that's... I think this deck is probably like a top 10 deck, and just not enough players play it. Even Alex Szymanski said he was going to play this for the Players' Cup Invitational, and then he accidentally submitted his Rapid Strike Urshifu. So, cool stuff over there. Moving on to our third place list, we have Hygium A. And again, sorry for any butchered pronunciations. You can see we have another... Dark Toolbox deck. We have the Weavile line. This deck playing a different Sneasel line. 2 of this one and 1 of the other one. It's pretty similar here. Playing 2 to Dene, not 3. Really just like the text there. Going with the double Sabrina and Bryson, a lot of lists are playing this card. It recently came out in the Dark Toolbox. The Crobat V Trainers Toolkits. So this card has been popping up in a few decks. I'll just pop this card up just so people can see exactly what's going on. So you search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. When you play this card, you may discard 5 other cards from your hands. That's a whopping effort. Search your deck for 3 Pokemon of different types in this way. So you could search out a Sneasel, type Null. That's how different types works. Water, Dark, colorless. You can't go water, then another water, then a colorless. So that's probably why these lists are playing the Divide and Sneasels. Overall, I mean, I think this list looks solid. I don't know if I'd ever go double Sabrina Bryson, but maybe it's just that importance. Pitching your hand away and really getting all set up, because you're then just a red and blue away from really bringing it back. Now in our second place, we're going to see the same archetype, Bodie Robinson. They also made a deep run the week before, so kind of back-to-back kind of deep runs, playing a similar list here. I mean, to me, it seems like it's a pretty normal list. 1 Sabrina Bryson. To me, I like this list. I'd like to see a Crobat here. I think Crobat could be cool, especially to grab off of Sabrina Bryson. Maybe it's not as helpful as the Dene GX, but I do think since Crobat can attack, it could be cool. Mewtwo and Mew GX I don't find ever really does too much in these matchups, because the Urshifu deck, the Rapid Strike Urshifu, does play Jirachi GX. So that is something that I might cut down for one for a Crobat in my personal list, but not sure yet. Overall, I think Bodhi's deck looks really good. Malolana overall I don't think is super helpful in this deck, but it is a searchable switch card. So that is something to consider. And last but not least, certainly not least, we have Isaac Trone, our Late Night Series #2 champion, playing an Ice Rider deck. So Ice Rider, Shintaro won the week before with Ice Rider. This deck, Isaac won this week with Ice Rider. Pretty standard list, no Leon, no Crobats, really relying on the quick shootings. The Crobat was cool, and I found like Isaac was able to draw out of some poor situations. At the same time, I found like Crobat is kind of a threat sometimes. So overall, cool list. I recently covered this deck on my channel. Most Ice Rider lists look exactly the same. I'd like to see a few more like Evolution Incense or more Level Ball, and maybe like some of the tech cards changed out a little bit. But other than that, I think it's just a really standard, straight up list that seemed to work. So major congrats to Isaac. I think your list is awesome and great stuff. And that's what we got going on for this video today. It's one of those things where I'm really happy to be able to showcase these top 8 decks. I'd go in a little bit more in depth, but right now we're very late in our Chilling Reign metagame, and I've covered most of these decks on the channel, so if you haven't got a chance to check out these decks, just kind of browse through my channel. Every single deck here has been covered on the channel at least once, sometimes more than once, so that's kind of where I'll leave you at. That's where you're going to get more of the in-depth discussion. I'm really looking here for techs, uniqueness, and if there's not, it's just a solid list and great job. And if you are one of these players and you're like, you want to know what? I want to know Zach's opinion on my deck. That's exactly where it is. So congratulations to all of these players, and shout out to everyone who played, watched, supported this event. If you haven't already, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below letting me know which one of these 8 decks is your favorite deck, and I will be putting up the link for Late Night Series number 3 soon, so everyone hop on that. Hope to see you all there. That being said, I'm going to go edit this video, catch myself a snack, and I'll catch up with everyone later. Have a great one, and peace out. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's become a channel member. It's one of those things where I appreciate every single person who watches my videos, and I mean, that's really where it counts, but for the channel members, they've gone out of their way to financially support me, and I truly appreciate that gesture. It's one of those things when I started channel memberships up on my channel, and I just didn't know if anyone was ever going to do it, so I truly appreciate everyone taking the plunge, taking a leap of trust, and investing in me as a content creator. Truly makes a difference for me each and every month. If you haven't already thought about becoming a channel member, you might want to contribute to the channel, and I do put everything back into the channel to make it the best possible place to watch for Pokemon TCG content. Again, I truly appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. Cheers. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.